In September 1998, a mysterious disappearance occurred involving the entire family of Joseph and Sьюзен. After the baptism of their youngest daughter, Pàtricia, the family vanished without a trace. Besides their daughter, they also had a 3-year-old boy named Peter. Sьюзен's mother, Charlotte, lived nearby. For a week, she received no news about her daughter. Concerned, she contacted the police, who sent 2 patrol cars to the family's home. However, when they arrived, no one was there. Children's toys were scattered in the yard, which was unusual since Sьюзен was known for keeping things tidy. Charlotte called her daughter's workplace and discovered that Sьюзен hadn't been there all week. Together with her son, Christopher, and her niece, Charlotte set out to search for her daughter. Upon entering the house, they noticed that the heating was turned up to the maximum. Sьюzен usually turned it off when no one was home. All of her bags, including those for travel, remained in place. Pàtricia, who suffered from eczema, had her medications at home. The family's shoes were still there, and their cars were parked in the yard. Personal identification documents were in the dresser. Charlotte suspected Joseph of being involved in the family's disappearance due to recent arguments and relationship problems. Joseph frequented bars, drank with friends, and had affairs with other women. Sьюzen knew about the infidelity and wanted to separate from him. This fueled Charlotte's suspicion that Joseph might be connected to the family's disappearance. 9 days later, Charlotte and Christopher returned to Sьюzen's home and encountered a complete stranger who introduced himself as a friend of the family. His name was May. According to him, Joseph had given him the keys to look after the house. 2 months later, May called Sьюzen's mother, claiming that an unknown person had informed him that Joseph, along with his wife and children, was part of a sect and had no intention of returning. Sьюzen's mother didn't believe a word of it. May's presence raised further suspicions. Charlotte returned to her daughter's house and discovered that Sьюzen's car, which had been parked there previously, was missing. It turned out that May had sold the car, but how did he manage it? The car was registered in Sьюzen's daughter's name. Charlotte reported this to the police, and they took the matter more seriously. The unauthorized sale of Sьюzen's car allowed them to officially begin an investigation. The investigators checked Sьюzen and Joseph's bank cards and found no recent activity. Since September 19, 1998, they hadn't written any checks or received any social benefits. The question remained, how were they surviving? Or were they even alive? The investigators turned their attention to May. He had worked as a welder but was currently unemployed, living on benefits and indulging in alcohol and gambling. In the summer of 1998, he became homeless and sought a place to live for free. A mutual acquaintance introduced him to Joseph, and he soon showed up uninvited. May liked the wooden house with a view of the river. He wanted to live in the vacant wooden cabin next to Joseph's stone house, but Joseph categorically refused. The day after the family's disappearance, May changed his name on the mailbox, transferred utility contracts to his name, and took over the electricity and water bills. A doctor from the local clinic, Monique, witnessed Joseph and Sьюzен hosting guests on the 16th day. May was among them, complaining to Joseph about his housing problems and asking to stay in the vacant cabin. However, Joseph refused to allow a stranger onto his property. That evening, the guests left, but May didn't intend to leave. What happened next remains unknown, but the police decided to search the family's property. Using an excavator, they soon discovered the bodies of Joseph, Sьюzен, and their 2 children buried in the ground. May was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment,